This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our February DW Consulting Solutions monthly webinar. My name is Davie Gabbard. I'm the Vice President of Operations at DW Consulting Solutions, and I'm joined with my partner in crime and co-host today, Kelly Winter. Kelly is one of our amazing LinkedIn coaches, as well as responsible for a lot of our international offerings, including our translation services into Spanish, Portuguese, and English for your profiles. So thanks for joining us today. Hi, Kelly. I also want to introduce Beth Wagmeister from the WAG Group. Beth is our ASL interpreter, and we are glad to have her with us today. All right, let's just go ahead and jump right in. We're going to talk briefly about the DW Consulting Solutions model. Kelly, can you share a brief introduction of that concept for our listeners today?
Thank you, Davie, and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for making the time to joining us today. Just before we get started, I would like to go over here with you on the DW Consulting Solutions model. We believe on, in building relationships with the know, like, and trust. For the purpose of this webinar, we will go over more details in a little bit on how you can have a complete and optimized profile. Also, just another reminder that is very important to keep in mind: by personalizing your invitations to connect with your new, making new connections, you're 5 times more likely to be accepted. Another thing is, keep it in mind to build relationships first. Do not pitch out of the gate. Engage in a way that will bring attention to your audience. It's always a great way and a good practice to keep and always be professional. So this way you can build meaningful relationships. Now we'll have Davie with you. She's going to get started by sharing some statistics on LinkedIn.
Great, thanks, Kelly. Okay, so LinkedIn statistics, we want to help you create some context with respect to why LinkedIn is such an important part of your business development strategy. I mean, let's look at LinkedIn by the numbers, okay? It's all about opportunities for connection. Keeping in mind that a connection on LinkedIn may not be your target employer or your target customer, but they may be connected to that person. And that's why the power of LinkedIn's network is so effective in your business building. We use LinkedIn to buy, to sell, to hire, to get a job, to expand our businesses, to be thought leaders and inspire others. And it's important to understand the wealth and the depth of the opportunities that we have on LinkedIn. So here's some statistics. This is from the December report, the end of the quarter report for LinkedIn. As of the end of 2021, there are 810 million members in over 200 countries and regions in the world. And so you are probably, if you're in the U.S., zeroing in first on that 185 million plus number of LinkedIn members in the United States, and that's an important number if that's your target market. But I don't want you to ignore the other 600 plus million members on LinkedIn, keeping in mind that first level connection may not be your ideal business target, but they may know that person, and by building a relationship with them, they could send you referrals to business. It's important to remember that. We also want to remind you that 80% of the people on LinkedIn are driving business decisions. So these are the business leaders, the C-suite, the executive management team, the recruiters, the hiring managers, and the higher level decision makers in the business. And 6 people get a job every minute out of 4,500 applications per minute. This is a new statistic that we're excited about. And these statistics we grabbed out of a video that I've included the link to here. This is an interview with LinkedIn's CEO with some new and exciting numbers. Microsoft's purchase of LinkedIn has really enhance their suite of business tools, but in addition, it has created a new integration opportunity that they're really focused on. And so LinkedIn statistics are now included in Microsoft quarterly earnings report. Okay, we're going to move on. Let's start with LinkedIn best practices. Kelly, tell us what's the way to get started.
Certainly. So something here important to keep it in mind is that the LinkedIn best practice, LinkedIn profile page, or let's say your company page, is the foundation for your personal brand or your company brand. So why that is important? To keep it like everything customized and optimized. And a couple essentials: the headline and the about and experience section.
Kelly, I think we're losing your mic.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. So a couple of things here to keep in mind. Field tips and reminders. Your profile picture is your calling card on LinkedIn. So get the first great impressions from the start. Keep that in mind. And also long distance shots, they do not stand out. Another thing is that a lot of people, unfortunately, they ignore is the background photo. More than anything, the right background photo helps your page stand out, engage attention, and stay memorable. Now, in terms of your headline, this is a great opportunity for you to use your keywords. Use the headline field to say a bit more about you. How do you see your role? Why do you do what you do? And what makes you tick? So that is something really, really important. Now, another opportunity that you have here is the About section. The About section will be basically a summary of your story. Your summary is your chance to tell your own story. Try to bring to life why those skills matter. This is your most personal piece of content in marketing, so it's definitely worth the effort. And another piece of information here is like, make sure you have your complete experience session all filled out and everything up to date, aligning with, let's say, if you have a resume, it's important to have everything matching the dates. Now, and another field here is the skill session. The skill session is one of the quickest of quick wins on LinkedIn. Scroll to the list of skills and identify those that are relevant to you. The key here is to stay relevant. Take time for a spring clean of your skills list every now and then. Now, another thing is that we always like to tell you is that the statistics, you can go wrong by following something that is proven to work. 40 more times more likely to receive job opportunities. You're 40 more times more likely to receive job opportunities if you have a complete and optimized profile. Daily activities. For example, if you post with images, it's also another way that is proven, 2 times higher engagement. And by posting articles, videos, as well as engage on your posts. And how can you grow your network? By personalize your invitations, you can follow up in-person network opportunities, you can explore groups, you can invite in engagement by posting often, and also grab attention with visual content, engage with existing connection. And one more tip here, make sure that you promote your LinkedIn URL. You can add that in your resume or business letters. So those are just a couple tips that we want to remind you all, and certainly it's going to be a great way to even build even more your network. So now we'll have Davey with you sharing the next job opportunity.
Thank you, Kelly. So what we find when we work with new clients is if they are not strong LinkedIn users, they frequently go, oh, well, I'm not a job seeker. LinkedIn's just for HR. And while it is the #1 tool for human resources professionals and recruiters, there's a lot more, of course, to LinkedIn than just finding your job. But it is critical. If you're a job seeker, LinkedIn needs to be a part of your job search strategy. Because 95+% of human resource recruiters are on LinkedIn, and they are looking for candidates using keywords. So it's important to remember, if I am not connected to you and I do not know your name, but I need you, your goods or services, I'm going to search for you using keywords. And so that's why it's important to have this complete and keyword optimized profile so you can be found for your next opportunity. Outside of your standard job search process, there are tools inside of LinkedIn and steps that you can take. Debbie does a fantastic session on jobs for job seekers. If you're an established DW Consulting Solutions client and you are now in your job search phase, please touch base with Debbie and find out more about that service. She does a fantastic session on job seekers. So what can you do on LinkedIn outside of just looking for jobs and applying for them? Connect with the hiring manager and the HR recruiter for that company where the opportunity is. Get to know them and build some rapport. This may not be the right opportunity for you, or you may not be the right candidate at this time. But again, you never know which connection is going to lead you to your next job opportunity. Secondly, if you have specific companies that you're applying for or interested in, go to their company page on LinkedIn and follow it. Learn more about their company culture and stay up to date on their hiring and their job openings that are listed on LinkedIn. Become a raving fan of that company. It will get you visibility. And again, skills are important and experience is important, but I can personally attest to the fact that every job I have received in my life was based on a personal referral. I got the job because of my skills. I got the interview because of my relationships. And then when you are applying for jobs online, make sure you're setting up those searches and notifications, because if you are able to apply within 10 minutes of receiving the job notification, it can increase your chances of hearing back by 4 times. So it's super important that you keep that in mind when you're a job seeker. There are also other business building opportunities on LinkedIn. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about lead generation and have probably been spammed and pitched out of the gate by specialists who want to show you how to do automated lead generation out of LinkedIn. We are not advocates of that for lots and lots of reasons. So let's talk about why we think building your business opportunities in LinkedIn is a huge strategic objective for you and how to do lead generation the right way. Kelly, tell us more about that.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Davey. As I mentioned in the beginning, people will definitely be more likely to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And we suggest you to set some goals here for you to achieve. You can do that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. For example, extend few invitations to generate some posts. You can scan through your feed and engage with your network. Another thing is that is very important to keep in mind is give and get mentality. How can you do that? One example would be the endorsements. The endorsements will give people viewing your profile a quick and visual sense of what you are valued for. Recommendations is another one, but that takes a step further. Their personal testimonials are written to illustrate the experience of working with you. So recommendation sections, this section in your profile, it will makes it easier to reach out to a specific contact and request recommendations. So for starters, for example, you can go through your network and identify connections who you feel genuinely that deserve an endorsement from you. That is often the trigger for people to return the favor. So don't be afraid to reach out with a polite message asking for an endorsement for a few skills as well as recommendations. And remember, though relevance matter. So reach out to people whose endorsement you really value. And another thing is that Dave even mentioned before is to follow companies that you're interested in terms of, let's say, B2B target. Extend an invitation to those members of that company. That's a way also once you have a relationship with them, you can ask for referrals. And the practice of good business, building the etiquette using LinkedIn by being consistent and professional. So don't sell, don't pitch out of the gates, don't spam. And so those are all good practices that you can keep, and it's just going to help you to succeed and to build your personal brand and as well as your company brand. So those are just like all the reminders that we have for you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kelly. So I hope that what our webinar attendees understand is that a lot of these are small tips and small tasks and small things that you can incorporate into your daily LinkedIn practice for building your network and building your relationships. If we were to give you any recommendation on top of that, it would be patience and consistent activity. I personally struggle with both of these sometimes because when you're sending out those connection requests or accepting those connection requests, doing research, trying to find folks to connect with, sometimes it's not as linear as we may like for it to be, and it certainly isn't as quick as any of us would like to be as far as developing business and opportunities. Keeping in mind that businesses, particularly businesses in a corporate scenario, larger companies, do generally take a little more time to make decisions because of the level of decision making and kind of corporate structure. That's why consistency and patience is important. Engaging with the content on your LinkedIn feed, sharing that that is meaningful to you on a regular basis. So while the path from A to B, meet somebody, sell them you or your stuff, and recognize the revenue, is not always so straight in relationships, and that's what we want you to remember. Get to know your connections, personalize your invitations to connect, and start building that relationship right away. I always like to recommend to my clients that they treat LinkedIn like it's a networking event. When you extend an invitation, it's the same thing as you handing someone your business card. When someone asks you to, engage in some small talk at a networking event, you talk a little bit about what you do, your company, maybe you talk about the weather or sports or local events or something like that. You get to know this person. You don't immediately start to pitch. You don't immediately try to sit down and get them to sign a contract or see your goods and services because you're developing that relationship. So please keep that in mind. It is a long game. You will see quick wins and short successes, of course. That is our goal for you. But it's important to remember that it takes time and consistency. If there could be anything that we would say to you, consistency and building that daily habit of LinkedIn activity. We train our clients, we call it our daily action plan for success, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. Get in. LinkedIn is one of many business development tools that you have at your disposal. And while we're on LinkedIn all day, every day, because that's what we do, we certainly don't expect that of our average client, unless, of course, you are a job seeker, and particularly if you are in transition and not currently working. Your job is finding a job, and then in that instance, we would recommend a little more than 15 minutes a day for your LinkedIn investment. Okay, so we are excited to announce that we have developed our annual calendar for LinkedIn webinars, and we will be sharing information on those. You will have the opportunity to register in advance. So go ahead and save the date now for Wednesday, March 30th. It's our March webinar leading into the Easter season. And the title of this webinar is 3 Easter Eggs to Leverage on Your LinkedIn Profile. So I think most of us are familiar with the concept of Easter eggs, hidden props or characters or scenes in movies. The the end of, like, if you were a fan of the Marvel and the Avengers series, there would always be scenes at the end, the blooper reels, or an extra scene. Or if I always use Marvel as an example, if you're a fan of Marvel and you know who Stan Lee is, the founder of Marvel, then you would look for him in all of the Marvel movies. He would always make a cameo, and so that would be a little Easter egg. Same kind of concept for LinkedIn. There are a lot of hidden features in there. So if you are interested in some excellent tips on some hidden features that you may not be aware of in LinkedIn, that's what the topic of our webinar is going to be next month. We would encourage you to go ahead and join us, and that registration link will be shared with you in our follow-up email today. And then if you're a routine member of our webinar fan club, you'll get a sneak peek email also indicating that it's time to register. As a member of this group of individuals who attend and register for our webinars, you always have first dibs, first chance to register, and first glance at what the concepts and the topics for the next month's webinar is going to be. So thank you so much. And then always, when you register for our webinars, even if you can't attend at noon on Wednesdays, please go ahead and register. We will send the replay link and any supporting documentation after the event to you, so you can always watch it and review it at your leisure. So save that date for March 30th. We want to show you some extra hidden gems inside of the LinkedIn system. So it's all about engagement. Kelly, tell our listeners today how they can engage with us.
Certainly. So we definitely invite you to connect with us on LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn, and certainly if you have not yet, subscribe to our monthly newsletter. Why? We constantly share updates. We share a lot of tips on how to improve your profile. And also, if we have like a webinar, or if we have an event that you may be able to attend, that's an opportunity for you to get that information as well. We invite you to visit our website. There's a lot of information that you can do. You can download the ebook, free ebook from there. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. They're great videos, a lot of great tips from LinkedIn, and you know, that you can learn and apply for your personal brand or your company profile. And another thing you can do too, we invite you to book a 15-minute profile review with us. And I believe that Debbie or Davey will tell you a little bit more about that on the next slide, I'm sorry. And thank you all for attending this webinar. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Kelly. So this final slide is all of the contact information so that you can get in touch with Debbie, me, Kelly, or Beth. We do encourage you to register for that 15-minute profile review. You can click on the Calendly.link for any of the LinkedIn coaches. We would be happy to share this complimentary 15-minute profile review. No strings attached, I promise. No pressure. We just want to share some quick and easy edits that you can make to your profile right away. And it's a way for us to get to know you a little bit, expand our network, and share with you our perspective and the type of work that we do. We want to thank you again for joining us today. I know Debbie had joined today to listen in and be there to support me if I had trouble with the PowerPoint or the webinar. I just want to personally reach out to Debbie and say thank you, Debbie, for the opportunity to work with you, to be a part of your team. Kelly, also, I just enjoy working with you so much, and I appreciate you. If you want to learn a little bit more about Kelly, please go to the DW Consulting Solutions LinkedIn page. We're featuring her this week as one of our coaches. There is a post there with Kelly's photo, and you can click on the link. It's a quick video that we did, each staff member did as a part of our 10-year anniversary celebration last June. So it's a great opportunity to get to know Kelly a little bit better and understand why we think she's so fabulous, because we know you're going to think she's fabulous too. So thanks to Kelly, thanks to Debbie, and also a shout out to Beth for doing our ASL interpretation. We have a commitment to inclusivity, and Beth has been a great champion for that and has really helped us up our game as well. So thank you so much for that as well. We're going to wrap it up now. The recording and the follow-up documentation will be sent out to you when it's available, either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and we look forward to seeing you next month at one of our presentations, at one of our networking events that we'll be joining, or online here at our monthly webinar. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.